Good day, everyone. I wanted to take the time to be with you in form of reading. There's been some materials that have been resurfacing for me and has been really helpful for me at this time during shelter in place and processing things to come and preparing myself. Now, I'm not quite sure what timeline looks like at this point. It's ambiguous. It has really, there's no knowing. But I am hopeful, and I wanted to share this glimmer of hopefulness. And if you're catching me live, hey, what's up, girl? So, what I'm doing right now is actually going to be reading different parts of different books for you. Today I've been reading Wherever You Go, There You Are, something that I go in and out of. And then the other one is this book that I've been studying for many years, which is The Way of Mastery. And this has been really helpful for me as well. So this is an invitation for you to lay down, maybe just put on some headphones and listen. And if you're unable to stay on here live, no worries. I'll actually be posting this on my IGTV and other platforms so that you can go ahead and listen to it then. So this is one segment that I'll begin reading. And before we even get to the space of reading, I invite you to activate this space inside your heart and to call in your soul to be present at this time. And that you ask your soul to listen and allow your soul to fully be present in a way that is still practicing its presence. So right now is myself speaking to you from soul to soul level. And I will be using material from teachings that have really resonated in me in these times of hopeful uncertainty. So this chapter is called Going Upstairs. Occasions to practice mindfulness in daily life abound. Going upstairs is a good one for me. I do it hundreds of times a day when I'm at home. Usually, I need something from upstairs or to speak with someone upstairs. But my long-term agenda is to be downstairs. So I'm frequently torn between two places. I'm on my way up only to be on my way down. After I found what I'm looking for, or gone to the bathroom or whatever. So I discover that I am frequently pulled by my needs to be somewhere else, or by the next thing I think needs to happen, or the next place I think I'm supposed to be. When I find myself racing upstairs, I usually 2 steps at a time. I sometimes have the presence of mind to catch myself in mid-frenetic dash. I become conscious of being slightly out of breath, aware that my heart is racing as well as my mind, that the whole of my being in that moment is being driven by some hurried purpose, which often even eludes me by the time I'm up there. When I'm able to capture this wave of energy in awareness, while I am still at the bottom of the stairs or starting on my way up, I will sometimes slow my ascent. Not just 1 step at a time, but really slow. Maybe 1 breath cycle per step. Reminding myself that there is really no place I have to go and nothing I have to get that can't wait another moment, for the sake of being fully in this one. I find that when I remember to do this, I am more in touch along the way and more centered at the top. I also find that there's hardly ever an outward hurry, only an inner one, usually driven by impatience and a mindless type of anxious thinking, which varies from a so subtle I have to listen carefully to detect it all, to so dominant that almost nothing will deflect its momentum. But even then, I can be aware of it and of its consequences. And this awareness by itself helps keep me from losing myself completely in the turbulence of the mind in those moments. And as you might guess, this works going down the stairs too. But here, because the momentum of gravity is working for me, it's even more of a challenge to slow things down. And then it asks, try. Try to use ordinary, repetitive occasions in your own house as invitations to practice mindfulness. Going to the front door, answering the phone, seeking out someone else in the house to speak with, going to the bathroom, getting the laundry out of the dryer, going to the refrigerator, can all be occasions to slow down and be more in touch with each present moment. Notice the inner feelings which push you toward the telephone or the doorbell on the first ring. Why does your response time have to be so fast that it pulls you out of the life you were living in the preceding moment? Can these transitions become more graceful? Can you be more where you'll find yourself all the time? Also, try being present for things like taking a shower or eating. When you are in the shower, are you really in the shower? Do you feel the water on your skin? Or are you someplace else, lost in thought, missing the shower altogether? Eating is another good occasion for mindfulness practice. Are you tasting your food? Are you aware of how fast, how much, when, where, and what you are eating? Can you make your entire day as it unfolds into occasion to be present or to bring yourself back to the present over and over again? This other book that has been really calling me, my soul level has been calling me, and here in conversation with you on a soul level. This chapter is about you are here to extend the love into creation. And more specifically, it talks of you are part of something extraordinary, and this is the time for ultimate transfiguration. On a personal note, I was diminishing my presence with myself. And as a person that does their most best to be fully present, I do recognize after reading and after listening that I, as well as you, are part of something great. And we all have this opportunity to perfect our spiritual practice, to be in existence. Which lesson? I'm actually in lesson number 34, The Way of Knowing. So it's the very last book on the way of mastery. And this speaks of ancient lineage. In one of my previous videos, I was talking about using ancestral practice and how we can pass lessons down from generation to generation using our ancestral lineage. And so I'm going to begin on page 399. Prior to that, it talks about that the power of the lineage is available to you. But I'd like to begin with what is to come. Before we dive into what is to come, I do want to remind you that the power of lineage is available to you. The lineage that you can focus on is something of your immediate family. So starting with your birth story, this could be reflecting back onto old photos to recollect memories and stories of your loved ones. This can go back into your culture. What I would like to embrace is the global ancient lineage, and that is something that is much farther of this physical existence and is much more of a spiritual practice in knowing that we are one in our collective consciousness. So in this section, what is to come, I would like to preface that anytime we use the terminology of Christ, is about Christ consciousness, and using these leaders and these examples that humanity has been following for quite some time. This is not about religion or projecting of such. This is tuning into those that have reached enlightenment and the wisdom that they are offering to us. Just how many people seek to Allah and Buddha and other enlightened individuals, this too is also of that nature. What is to come? You are literally witnessing the forerunning effects of what is to come. When the day will arise when no one will need to say a word, and yet through the gathering of the lineage, individuals who are attracted will heal spontaneously and immediately drop into enlightenment. All of you are part of this. This is how extraordinary you are. And this is the invitation that we constantly extend to you. Think not that which is called Shanti Cristo is simply another worldly organization. The deepest levels of transfiguration are already occurring through this lineage, through this strand or ray of light. Therefore, indeed, embrace that which you are, honor that which you are, extend that which you are. Go and teach all nations. Let them know that I have come again, and this expression shall become increasingly a primary vehicle through which the lineage is creating the vortex, the portal, the initiation, the energy of transfiguration that will quicken in its enlightenment or atonement of the sonship. Therefore, understand well that what will be coming in the future is a growing body of those maturing in the way of the Christ mind, maturing in the level of commitment, because they will come to see the extraordinary role that they are playing in a much bigger picture than their own personal lives. The family will indeed grow, and much is being put into the place for this to occur. The lineage never ceases working in establishing the network of light that allows the expression of this light. We recognize well that as you live your personal lives, seemingly many miles from one another, often with little third dimension contact, it is easy for the mind to cast a spell upon you that not much is occurring. And yet I say to you, it will occur with or without you. The invitation then is to take up your rightful place by stepping into full commitment for this extraordinary expression. I'm going to repeat that because that speaks so loudly. The invitation then is to take up your rightful place by stepping into full commitment for this extraordinary expression that shall indeed eventually touch all corners of your planet. That has been its purpose since long, long ago. And I'm going to leave it there, my friends. And so in this time of awakening, in this time of touching the light, I want you to remind yourself, if you haven't at this moment today, remind you that you're powerful, remind you that your presence is needed, that you are extraordinary in these times. And here we are in the time of transfiguration. We're in this time of changing the molecular structure of how we interact with ourselves, and even just on a micro level, that our cells are transfiguring. They really are rebirthing and dying. And then on a macro scale, how everything is completely changing. So thank you so much for tuning in. I would love speaking to your soul, and thank you for listening. What these channelings of not of my own, but I share it because it really, really spoke with me at this time. And so in deepest prayers and in gratitude, may this process of death and rebirth be in full grace. Thank you and much love. Peace.